hot yoga it is. Yeah. It feels high. It feels, it's getting better. We'll take it easy. Hi.
Outside class yesterday, we were playing pickleball and then afterwards I can't do it.
Can't do it. It was, yeah, I feel like only one form of movement is allowed. Afterwards, I was in a cold, dark room at home. Hi, good to see you.
How you living?
Good.
Good.
How you been?
I've been all over the place playing, but I'm glad to be back.
I'm happy to see you.
Mm-hmm.
You back in town for a while?
I leave Thursday.
Okay, where are you going next?
Virginia for like a week. I fly to Illinois for a teacher's retreat. And then I'm back in Virginia for 3 weeks for a yoga teacher intensive.
Okay.
Teaching that.
You're teaching in it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, my studio, my
Yeah.
home studio back in Virginia.
So fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad to catch you for a second.
Right.
Thanks for coming.
Glad to be here.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Also, I'm trying to turn this baby around. So
Uh-huh.
you just see me sitting in bridge pose back there. I'm fine. I'm just knocking her back.
Doing all the tips.
I'm trying. I would be like upside down. So I'm like upside down.
Oh my God.
It was like, let me tell
Is
you.
that what they're starting to do?
They don't tell you anything. The doctors.
Yeah.
So this is just all like
Uh-huh.
internet.
Uh-huh.
Internet, like PPT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not.
No. And then like, can you just not tell me?
Yeah. She was like,
Yeah.
Mom could flip. She would flip.
So,
And there's some time.
yeah.
Like a couple
Well,
weeks.
like, one doctor's like, yeah, there's time. And then another one's like, no, she doesn't flip out. She won't ever flip out.
Okay.
I'm like, she can do it.
She can do it.
Yeah. I
Do
just
your
want to
thing.
do it now. Just give me that.
Is going upside down help? Are you going upside down?
Inversions. So, I have done moving this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And this isn't button?
yeah. Yeah, I saw someone.
Okay. We're gonna do something. Yeah. Take it easy.
Yeah. I've been like,
Legs at the wall.
Yeah.
Good. Oh. We're leaving the fans on vortex. It's always my dad when he goes out of the house, and he's been staying with me for the past couple of months, and he takes my dog on all of her walks, and every second he gets back in the house, he's like, "Oh, it's so hot, turn the air conditioning on." I'm like, just give it a second. You were walking outside for 20 minutes, it was 105 degrees, and then immediately 5 minutes after, I see him like happily sitting in the chair, being like, "I'm fine." So I just have to remember that when I'm overheating all the time. Yes, rushing to class. Yeah.
I'm pouring sweat going into the store.
Yes.
Shins and calves and tightness and speed walking.
I have extreme road rage. That's where I am. I'm like, get out of my way.
If you're driving there, that's a whole different story.
Mhm. Hi. I think, Leo, is it cooler out in the hallway? Okay, we'll keep the door closed. You know, every once in a while, we just have to be reminded why we like climate control and why I don't do hot yoga. But we're going to do it today together just for a little bit. We'll start in some time. There's still plenty of time. All of the props we'll use, blocks, blanket, if your knees need a little extra cushion when you put them down on the mat, and a strap. And some therapy balls if you'd like to use them. I have some suggestions of things to do. And water. We all know where water is. If you don't have it with you, there's some downstairs. Hi, friend. Look at this hair. It looks so good. I love it.
I can't decide.
I love it. It suits you. Have you had it this short before?
30 years ago.
But now you're back.
Well,
Short showers.
we'll see.
Yeah.
You like it back?
I love it. I think it's great. Yeah. You're not late. You're in fact 3 minutes early. Yeah. Hi, you can definitely go right here. Yes. Nope, nope, not at all. You're great. If you want to face the curtains, that's a great direction. It's also secretly my favorite spot to go in because when you're closer up front, you see nothing behind you. Yeah, it's a great spot. Yeah. I'm either there or I'm in the back corner because I'm just doing my own odd thing.
So hard to show the teachers now.
Yeah.
So being up at the front, I don't have any distractions.
Yep.
They're thinking of different things.
Yep. Watching.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's an interesting adjustment.
Yes. Let me try it. Okay, we'll get started. I think there's 2 or 3 more folks that will trickle in as we start to get moving, but there's room for them, there's spot for us all. I will keep the fans blowing and blowing the whole class. And Lisa and Guy have checked the thermostat with me. It is set to 64, so fingers crossed by the time we get to Shavasana, maybe there'll be blankets and sweatshirts that come on, but until then, it's unclear. I think it is, because there's no class before this, it just, yeah, it's like a perfect little magnifying glass in here, but hopefully it'll cool off soon because we love air conditioning. Hi, come on in. Monday, great to see you. I have decided, I know last week was the last official chakra class, but I didn't teach it for the other 2 classes, so we're gonna do it again for one more time. So if you came last week, you get a little bit of a repeat. If you didn't come last week, you get to catch up again. But I figured it feels odd to stop before July starts, so July will start something new next week. But until then, 7 or 8 weeks of chakras. But for the past couple of weeks, since before Memorial Day, we've been, hi, come on in. There's space for you. Do you mind if we make just, if you squeeze in an inch or 2 closer? We can find lots of room. Thank you. Since May, we've been working our way up and through the chakras. So this week we're doing number 7 for the second time, and it's the one at the very crown of our head. So Chakras, if we remember, if it's the first time you've heard of them, are wheels or portals or spinning discs of energy that you don't see on a person, but the more you get to learn about them, the more you understand what each of them signify. And the first 6 that we went through were starting at the base of the spine, going up in between the eyebrows, and they give you a chance to ask yourself the questions of, do I have everything I need in order to do what I'm about to do? Have I drank enough water? Have I had enough food to eat? Have I slept enough? What are my desires? Where am I moving my energy towards? How do I begin to communicate what it is that I want with the world around? And now as we make our way up to number 7, the Sanskrit name is called Sahasrara chakra. And Sahasrara, the word in Sanskrit, means 1,000-fold. So if you were to ever look at the symbols of the chakras, they're all associated with a lotus flower and different petals of the lotus flower. And when you start at number 1, at the base of your spine, it only has 4 petals. And the further up the chain you go, the more petals they start to have. And so when we make our way up to the crown of the head, it's the 1,000-fold lotus. And if you could imagine, once one petal unfurls, there's another 1,000 waiting for them to reveal themselves to you. This is the way that we begin to access the divine, anything that signifies something greater than yourself. And it's also the way the divine begins to pour itself into us. This is the place in which we begin to see a world greater than the one we've known before, a world greater than the one we begin to imagine. So lots more to say about it as we practice, but we'll move towards headstand, Sirsasana. So last week we did one variation on the forearms. We'll play with it again today, and we'll explore the tripod variation, which some people last week were like, I like this one more. So now we all get a flavor of what we desire. And if you didn't know we were doing headstand, welcome. There's lots of options, modifications, ways in which to experience it. Take breaks. Sip lots of water whenever you need. Really pace yourself and take your time. But I'm happy we're here together. Thank you for coming. Let's start today in a comfortable seat, however that looks for you. You can start lying down if you'd like to start lying down. You can start cross-legged. You can sit on your knees. You might sit up on any props just so that your hips are higher than your knees to start, to give your low back some extra space. But with your eyes either softly closed or softly open, begin to listen for your breath. When we close our eyes, it gives us a moment to see ourselves more clearly than before. To let each breath dissolve the morning that was. To let each breath let you arrive to where you are now. And each breath that comes after makes space for what has yet to come. So as you feel for and begin to listen for your breath, can you let your inhale move from your nose down into your belly and then up into your heart? And as you exhale, let the breath move up and out through the very top of your head. These chakras, these wheels, or these discs of energy, they travel along the center of our body. It's this river of energy called the Sushumna Nadi that runs from the base of your spine up through the crown of your head. Bless you. So as you let each breath move from the nose down into the depths of your being, as it fills you up, let your exhale move down and out into the earth and up and out through each fiber of you. Let's start our time together with 3 more rounds of that same breath. When you're ready, you can draw your hands to center anywhere that feels for you, on your body or in front of your heart, in a moment of self-reverence. If your hands are in Anjali Mudra, you might pull your thumbs back to your heart as you lift your heart up into your hands. And take a deep breath in. to offer all of that breath out. 2 more times on your own. At the bottom of your breath, pause for a moment. Take notice of any difference that comes when you listen for and really remember your breath. Now, keeping that attention as best as you can, let your hands gently release. Blink your eyes open. And let's meet in tabletop to start to link movement and breath together through a few rounds of cat and cow. In your first table today, let your hands come as wide as your mat, so it might take up a little extra space than you normally do. Let your index fingers point straight ahead and tuck all 10 of your toes under, feeling the arches and webbing of your feet. Now begin to round and arch your spine on your own through a few rounds of cat and cow. Let's take 5 or 6 breaths together. Feel free to stay rounded or arched for a few extra breaths. Maybe you move forward and back, moving your hips towards your heels, or sliding your shoulders forward over your wrists. Or perhaps you even move your right hip towards your right shoulder and breathe into the left side of your waist and vice versa. But can you close or soften your eyes and feel your breath and your body begin to harmonize together? Take 1 more round wherever you are. And exhale to offer all of that breath out. Now find your way back to table. Come to your neutral spine. For an early calf stretch, keep your hands and shoulders where they are. Watch for people and props behind you and stretch the right leg back, tuck the toes under, and reach the right heel towards the back of your mat to notice what you feel in the back of the right leg. As the heel goes back, can you reach the very top of your head forward towards the front of your mat? Get longer in all 4 sides of your neck. Take a deeper breath in and a long, steady breath out. And then switch sides after a few breaths. Bend the right knee, stretch back through the left. And as you reach through the heel, think top of your head forward towards the front of the room. Those legs feel different in different times of the day. So take notice of what you're working with in the back of that leg. And then as you find your way back to table, come to your neutral spine. Walk your hands a handprint forward of your shoulders. Walk your knees back behind your hips. Welcome. And as you tuck all 10 of your toes under, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Let your hips lift up and back to the sky. In your down dog, you might stay still. Perhaps you pedal the heels from side to side, or you soften or straighten your legs simultaneously. But as we're moving towards going upside down, in versions of headstand, can you feel the quality of your breath here when you are upside down, when your head is below your heart? Take a deeper breath in, let it fill you up, and stay for your exhales. You offer all of that breath out. Now at the bottom of your breath, lift your heels high, soften your knees, look forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your hands to come into your forward fold. Feel free to bring blocks underneath your hands so the floor comes high up to meet you. You might even widen your feet an inch or 2 to give your hips and low back some extra room. But as you bow in, let your head be heavy. And if it feels okay for your neck and shoulders, maybe even slowly nod your head yes, or gently nod your head no. But take a long breath in, let it fill you up, and exhale to offer all of that breath out. And now hands come up to your hips, stand through your legs, and a big breath in to come all the way up to rise as you release your hands. Heel toe your feet to bring them right under your hips. Big breath in to reach the arms forward and up. As you exhale, soften your knees and fold over your legs. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. Reach the chest long to the top of your mat. And exhale to step it back to plank pose. Find the top of your push-up. Knees up or down, but as you push down into the earth, think tailbone back towards your heels and slide your chest forward. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, bend your elbows to lower all the way down to your belly. Hands as wide as your mat. Inhale to rise for baby cobra or cobra. Lift up through the chest. And on your exhale, take it back to down dog or table or puppy pose for 3 deep breaths. As you close or soften your eyes, can you feel for your breath? This chakra number 7, the way in which the divine pours itself into us and how we experience our connection to something so much greater. So as you find a long breath in, let it fill you up completely. And on your exhale, reach the crown of your head forward in between your fingertips, grow longer. Now at the bottom of your breath, lift your heels high, soften your knees, peek forward, and come forward to the top of your mat. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. Reach the crown of your head long to the front of the room. And big exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Take an inhale in to rise. Stand through your legs, reach up to touch the sky. And exhale to let the hands come down by your sides. One more time. Follow your breath more than my voice. Inhale to reach up. As you exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale brings you halfway to lengthen. Feel the balls of your feet heavy. And on your exhale, plank pose, step it all the way back. A full round of breath here. And as you exhale, lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to rise for Bhujangasana. Take the whole breath. And on your exhale, take it back to your downward facing dog. A full breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, offer all of that breath out. Now wait for the breath in as you float the right leg up and back. Step it through to catch your lunge. And now pivot your hands and feet over to the left to come into your wide-legged forward fold. So with your toes pointing in the same direction, lift and spread all 10 of your toes for a moment. Just see where the weight falls in the corners of your feet. As you hug your legs towards each other, hug your feet together, take a big breath in. And on your exhale, let the elbows soften as you bow in towards yourself. Take one more breath in, let it fill you up. And exhale to offer all of that breath out. And now let your head stay heavy. For this hybrid pose, keep the left foot as it is. For down dog lunge, turn your right knee and toes to face the front of the room. Bend your right knee and walk your hands to the top left corner of your mat. You can be on fingertips, you might be up on blocks, but picture from your hips up, you're in down dog, and from your hips down, you're in warrior 2. So as you push your palms down and away from you, lift your hips up to the sky. As you keep lifting the hips higher, take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale and bend into that right thigh as you guide your right knee open towards your pinky toes. Now head stays heavy. Keep walking your hands back to frame out your right foot. Take it back to downward facing dog, as many breaths and as much time as you need to make your way there. Hands come as wide as your mat if they're not already. Slow breath in brings you forward to plank. Slow exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Wait for the inhale to rise for cobra. Hug the shoulder blades towards each other. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Take a deeper breath in through the nose and a long, steady breath out. And now for side 2, float the left leg to the sky. Step it through to catch your lunge. You might bring your strap with you. We'll take a shoulder stretch on this side as you pivot your hands and feet to the right to face the other side of your mat. Now either grab a strap between your hands at your low back. That'll give your chest lots of extra room. Or you can interlace your fingers, but let's start with the elbows very bent to begin. And as you squeeze your shoulder blades together with your elbows bent, reach your arms off of your tush towards the sky. Now remember your legs. Can you hug your legs and feet towards each other from front to back? Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale as you bow in towards yourself. And now with care, slowly release the hands down to the earth. Let that head stay heavy. And as you turn your left knee and toes to face the front of the room for that down dog lunge, walk your hands to the top right corner of your mat. You can be on your fingertips, you can be up on blocks, but with your back heel all the way down to the earth. Push down and forward through your hands to lift your hips up and back to the long edge of your mat. Take a deeper breath in. Stay for your exhale. You might bend into that left thigh and guide your left knee open towards those pinky toes. Now with your head heavy, keep walking your hands back to the top of your mat. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a breath or two as you arrive, letting your hips lift to the sky. Pedal the heels from side to side. Take notice of what you feel. And now lift both heels high, soften your knees, peek forward, and come forward to the top of your mat, to your standing forward fold. Inhale to come up halfway to lengthen, grow long through your spine. As you exhale, fold and bow in towards yourself. Take an inhale in to rise, stand down through your legs, reach up to touch the sky, and exhale to release. Let the hands come down by your sides. Check to see that your knees and toes are pointing ahead, and with your palms onto your thighs, bend your knees and sit into a round of chair pose, Utkatasana. With the knees pointing in the same direction, let your hips get heavier to the earth. You can keep your hands on your thighs as you lift your chest. If you want to add heat, your arms can also reach up overhead. But take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for the exhale. Let your hips get heavier to the earth as you lift your heart up to the sky. Take one more breath in, fill the belly, fill up into the chest. Big exhale to offer all of that breath out. And now inhale brings you up to rise, reach up, touch the sky. And as you exhale, fold over your legs. Keep the right foot forward, step your left foot all the way back to catch your lunge. And now come up onto your fingertips or blocks on either side of that right foot. With the right toes pointing ahead, you might wiggle the left foot back another inch or two. And now press the right leg straight to move towards pyramid pose. Maybe you come higher up onto blocks as needed. But as you lift up through the back heel, can you wrap your right hip or left back hip forward and tack your right hip back towards the back of your mat? Notice if you feel it in the back of your right thigh. Now push down into the blocks to lift your heart. Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale as you soften in towards yourself. That's it. Now inhale to come up halfway one more time. Keep your left hand on the block or on the ground and bring your right palm to your low back. Shrug your right shoulder to the ear. Squeeze your right shoulder blade to your spine, and from your belly, begin to turn open towards that right leg. Can you tack the right hip back towards the back of your mat? Shrug the right shoulder up and back. And maybe lean back. If you want to reach the right arm up to the sky, you can do that too, but take a bigger breath in. Stay for your exhale as you offer that breath out. And then on your inhale, unwind, lower the hands. We're going to step it forward, all the hops you need for the left foot to meet the right. Inhale to come up halfway, grow long through the spine. Big exhale to fold, bowing in. Second side, left foot forward. Right foot steps back to catch your lunge. Squeegee the right toes back another centimeter or so. And now push the left leg straight to move towards Pursvottanasana. With that left leg straight but not locked, can you lift the right heel even higher up off the ground? And as you wrap your back right hip forward, tack that left hip back. Push into the blocks or the floor to lift your chest. Take a big breath in, get long. Can stay here as you exhale, or you might soften the elbows as you bow in towards yourself. Take one more breath, come up halfway to lengthen. Can the crown of your head reach long to the top of your mat? And now right hand stays down as your left palm comes to your low back. Shrug your left shoulder up to your ear. Squeeze the left shoulder blade to the spine, and from your belly, twist to the left for this version of revolved triangle. Your hand can stay on your back the whole time. The left arm can reach to the sky. But as you tack the left hip back, shrug the left top shoulder up and back, and then lean back to lift the chest. Big breath in. Stay for your exhale. Inhale to unwind. Lower the hands, bend the left knee. Take it back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Pedal the heels. Take a breath or two to notice what you feel and see. And we'll meet on our bellies next. So as you inhale, you can come to plank or lower your knees to the floor, but slither all the way down onto the ground. Once you're fully on the floor, stretch your arms alongside of you and flip your palms down to face the ground. Before we lift up into locust, hug your thighs towards each other from side to side. And now shrug your shoulders to the ears, squeeze your shoulder blades together. On your next breath in, lift your head, lift your heart, float your palms up off the earth. As you exhale, let the legs lift up and away from the ground. As you lift, close or soften your eyes to really listen for your breath. Can you hug your inner thighs towards each other? Spin the insides of your legs up towards the sky. And now think shoulder blades together. Lift your palms a centimeter more. Take a big breath in and exhale to release. Lower all the way down. You can make a pillow with your hands. Rest on one of your cheeks or on your forehead. You might wiggle your tush from side to side or stay very still, breathing full into your belly. Can you feel the belly expand and let the low back broaden, touching the air above you? Can you feel the chest fill up with breath and let the back of your heart broaden? And as you take one more of those three-dimensional breaths, breathe into your belly, breathe into your chest, feel the back of your body get more spacious. Big exhale to let all of that breath out. Okay, we'll stay down on the floor for a moment longer and get into a few of the thigh stretches. So options, you can either prop yourself up onto your forearms with your elbows right underneath your shoulders, or keep a pillow with your hands and let your left palm, let your forehead rest. But bend your right knee, lift your right foot up off the floor, and reach your right hand out and around to hold the right foot. Maybe you're a pillow with your hand, maybe you're with the left forearm down on the ground, but draw the right heel towards your right tush, and now hug your thighs towards each other from side to side. As you hug the right thigh towards your left thigh, shrug the right shoulder up and back, take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale. Can you let your left foot, the long leg, get heavier to the floor? And now on an inhale with care, release your leg and switch sides. Either pillow with your right hand or up on the right forearm. Bend your left knee and let your left hand reach around for the left foot. Good. When my left knee and thigh always opens up to the left, and that's when I feel it sometimes in the low back. So can you try to hug your thighs towards each other to clear some space there? And as you draw the heel towards your tush, shrug your left shoulder up and back to lift your chest. Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale to offer all of that breath out. And then on an inhale with care, release that leg, plant your palms, and come on up through to tabletop. Find your way to your hands and your knees. Sit back onto your heels, sip some water, take a breath. Toast City, anyone cooling off? No, me either. A strategy, there's a pranayama practice that I'm going to teach at the end of class, but if you ever need it sooner, it's that cooling breath, that sitali pranayama. If you can make the curled tongue shape, like you're sipping breath through a straw. Can't talk when you say that, but this way. Some people can do it. If you can't make the curled tongue, you bring the upper and lower teeth together, separate the lips, and feel the breath come in through that. You can try it once on your own if you'd like, either through the curled tongue or through your teeth, and feel the cool air coming in through the throat, the belly, and the chest. And then you close the lips and exhale out through the nose to pour the breath out. Anyone feel a difference when you find that breath in? My cousin who lives in Bangalore takes the public metro, which doesn't have air conditioning. And two things she's taught me, you know how everyone has their hand up on the thing? She's like, I always put an essence of jasmine oil right at the tip of my nose. And when I'm getting overheated, because it gets very, very hot there all year round, she's constantly doing this breath in the thick of the Indian heat. So if it helps you now, great. If it doesn't help you at all, you can give yourself a second or two to catch your breath. But let us do one more thing, a couple more things before we make our way up. So as promised, we're going to make our way towards Sirsasana, headstand. What I'll show you we'll do first is a little teaser to feel some weight on the crown of your head. So if you could, you can explore bringing one hand to the very top of your head, not near your hairline or not near the back of your skull, but the very top. And now push your head up into your palms. You feel how the sides of your neck grow longer. As you push your head up into your hands, now create some resistance. Push your hand down into your head without letting the neck get shorter. Keep getting long. This is the sensation we're looking to find, even as we get more weight bearing. So what we'll try next, you can release the hand, shake it off. I'll show you this version, and then we'll play with it together. So maybe a blanket if you want some cushion. But from tabletop, your hands will come behind the blanket on your sticky mat, and then you come forward and lower the crown of your head down onto the blanket, right where your palm just was. And now what I want you to feel, our knees are gonna stay down, the feet are gonna stay down. I want you to feel your hands steady on the floor. So once the head comes down, can you squeeze your hands together from right to left this way, and then keep that as you try to pull your hands back towards your knees. So you're doing the action of hugging the hands here and back without actually lifting the palms up. Yeah? So we'll try that one once. If you have any head or neck, shoulder stuff happening and headstand doesn't feel great, no obligation to do it. You can take a few breaths with your forehead down on the blanket for these versions of child's pose. You can take a few breaths staying seated with the crown of your head on your hands. Lots of options. But if you want to play with this one with the knees and feet still down, blanket or not, come onto all fours. Your hands will come behind the blanket if you're using it in tabletop. And now think chest forward, lean forward. As you bend your elbows back, let the crown of your head come down onto the blanket or onto the floor, the very top. As the crown of your head comes down onto the blanket or floor, remember your hands. Hug your palms towards each other from side to side. And now without moving them, try to drag your hands back towards your knees and feel your palms heavy. And now see if you can breathe in there. Breathe in there. When you want to come out, it's like a seesaw. You push through your palms to lift on up to take a seat. Yeah? The crown of the head, a place you don't think about until it gets overheated when you're sitting in the sun. But there's a lot of energy up here. There's a lot of engagement up here. And placing some weight on it creates a little bit of difference. Okay, so we'll try it one more time. You get the option, do exactly what you did again. Or to get a little bit more weight bearing on the head, this time, same action, crown of your head comes down, but you tuck your toes under and lift your knees and hips up. Both feet will stay on the ground the whole time, but same qualities in the hands. You gotta hug your hands together and pull them back. I said this last week, and the math isn't quite mathing, but it's 100% of weight in your right hand, 100% of weight in your left hand, and like 75% of weight in the crown of your head. Does that make sense? It's not like 100, 0, 0. You're using your hands to help create length in the sides of your neck. Okay, so either child's pose, a moment to rest, or this version of this tripod headstand with the feet on the ground. So come to tabletop, lower the crown of your head down. Can you see that your head and your hands are making a triangle? And now hug your hands together from side to side. Hug the hands back towards your knees, and only if you want, tuck your toes under and lift your knees and hips up. Breathe in there. Hug your palms together. Pull your hands back towards your feet as you lift your hips higher. And when you do not want to do it anymore, the knees come down to the floor. Take a breath or two in child's pose with your head below your heart. And then when the time comes, you can come up to rise into a seat. Nice. Yeah? Okay. Keep that in your memory or forget about it. We're going to do it again a little bit later, but that was just a little teaser. Let's come back to downward facing dog and get into the arms and legs a little more. So find your way when you're ready to your down dog. Take a few breaths as you arrive. And on your next inhale, float that right leg to the sky. Flex the right foot, try to straighten the right knee. And as you lift the right inner thigh to the sky, look between your hands. Step it all the way through to catch your lunge. Big breath in brings you up to rise. For high lunge, reach the arms, the chest, and the torso to the sky. You can walk your right foot as much as you need over to the right, so you're less on a tightrope, but lift the back thigh higher. Reach up through the fingertips and bend into that front thigh. Now interlace your fingers and bring them to the very top of your head. Can you press your head up into your palms And then use your hands to gently press your head down as the crown of your head gets tall. Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale, bend 1 more inch into that front leg. And now release your hands to your hips. Let's come up to stand. All the hops you need to spring off of your left foot. Lower the left foot down, bend your knees, sit your hips low. Lean into your left foot, lift your right heel. And for standing figure 4, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. You can keep your hands on your hips. If you want to bring them to blocks out in front of you so you have something solid to hold on to, you can. You might also reach your arms up to the sky. But as you flex that right foot, take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Think butt to the back of your mat as you lift your heart up to the sky. And now inhale to come all the way to rise. Lower the right foot to the floor, reach the arms up to the sky. Grab onto your right wrist, grow 1 inch taller, and tip to the left for standing crescent. As you breathe into that right side of your waist, slide the ears back to lift your chin. Maybe the arms come back in line with your ears. And now big inhale to come all the way up through center. Reach up to touch the sky. And as you exhale, fold and bow in towards yourself. Keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot all the way back to catch your lunge. 1 more time. And now with your hands on blocks or fingertips, we're making our way into supported warrior 3. Walk your hands way far forward of the right foot. Lean into your fingertips or blocks to lift the left leg up off the ground. Flex the left foot, try to straighten your left knee, and now hug your left thigh 1 inch to the right. As you lift your right inner thigh up to the sky, think chest forward, crown of your head forward to the front of the room. Take a big breath in, stay for your exhale, and then soften your right knee just enough to tap it back to lunge. Plant your palms on the floor and take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal the heels. Take a breath or two to notice what you feel and see. You're more than welcome to stay right here. At any point, you can lower your knees to the floor, or your breath might take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together before. But a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And when you find your next breath or two, there's no rush. We'll meet again in downward facing dog. Wait for the next inhale. We got 1 more side. Lift the left leg up and back. Step it through to catch your lunge. Slow breath in brings you up to rise for high lunge on the second side. Walk the left foot as much as you need over to the left. And now lift that back thigh even higher. Stretch up through the arms as you bend into that front thigh. Interlace that awkward thumb or index finger on top and bring your hands to the very top of your head. How tall can you get? Push your head up into your palms, and then use your hands, create a little resistance. Press your hands down as the head presses up into your hands. Big breath in. Stay for your exhale, bend into that front thigh. And now hands come to your hips, all the hops you need to spring off the right foot. Grow 1 inch taller, and now lower the right foot down. Bend your knees, sit your hips back. Lean into your right foot. Lift your left heel and cross your left ankle over your right thigh for that standing figure 4 on the second side. Maybe hands are on blocks, maybe arms are on your hips or hands are overhead, but take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Try to lift your chest and let your hips get heavier to the earth. On your next inhale, come up to rise. Lower the left foot down. Reach the arms up. Take a breath as you get tall. Grab onto your left wrist and reach up and over to the right for standing crescent on the second side. Breathe here into that left side of your waist. Slide the ears back to lift your chin. Maybe the arms come back to lift your heart. And now inhale to come all the way back up. Reach up to touch the sky. As you exhale, fold and bow in. Last one, left foot stays forward. Step your right foot back to catch your lunge. Come up onto your fingertops or come high up on blocks on either side of that left foot. Now look forward, see where you're going. You're gonna walk your blocks or your hands way far forward of that left foot. Lean into your blocks to lift the right leg up off the ground. It's less about how high the right leg is, but can the right hip point down to the earth? And can it steady you? Hug the right thigh to the middle of your mat. Stretch the right heel back towards the back of the room. And now think crown of your head forward. How long can you get? Take a deeper breath in. Stay for your exhale. Maybe lift the right thigh up 1 more inch to the sky. And now bend your left knee just enough to tap it back to lunge. Plant your palms and take it back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Pedal the heels, a breath or two to notice what you feel and see. Now walk your feet to come as wide as your mat. Tiny bend in your knees. And 1 palm at a time, walk your hands back to meet your feet so you can fold somewhere at the back of your mat. Feet wide, let the knees be soft. Maybe your hands tap the floor, maybe you catch opposite elbows. But as you bow in towards yourself, can you feel for the quality of your breath? A big breath in and a longer breath out. And now hands come up to your hips, stand through your legs, and a big breath in to come all the way up to rise as you release your hands. All right, bring your feet together. We're gonna come to the wall. So we'll close at the wall today. You can bring all of your things with you to any wall space. Lots of room on these 3. There's space right here behind the curtains if you'd like. But find some space, drink some water, take a couple of breaths. If anyone wants this sliver, there's a sliver here too. You're great there. Sure, yeah. It's not cooling off, is it? It's 85 still. You know, this makes us just appreciate things. I don't know what things yet, but it makes us appreciate things. Air conditioning. Yeah. Okay, so we've made it. We've done some variations of it, and I'll show you some options of things we'll get into. So Sirsasana, or headstand, is, if anyone has ever taken, I always throw him under the bus, but some of you have seen and met my dad. He comes to practice every Tuesday night, and he does like 10% of what I do. Most of the time he's just snoring in the front, which I love for him. But he, part of his yoga life is that he did, like gym class for them in school was yoga class. And so the mans can pop up into upward facing bow and headstand no problem, but like won't do this. And I'm like, so what is happening here? So I mention it because headstand is one of those poses in the yoga sphere that's thought to be, it is an inversion, and it's also, if you ever did it as a child, like had tumbling classes or like played outside, that tripod headstand was something that you may have done. I never did, but it's one where you can really feel different points of contact on the floor. So the one I'm going to show you today is that 3-point one that we did together a moment ago. Some people love it, some people have a preference for the other one. So if there's a reason, any reason at all why tripod headstand isn't your thing, please don't do it. There's no obligation. You can do the one with your fingers interlaced. You can also be with your legs up the wall for the more restorative inversion. But I'll show you the first one, and then there'll be some options of other places to get into. So it looks like this. Maybe you have a blanket underneath the crown of your head. Maybe you're just on your mat. But it's the very top of your head that comes down onto the floor. And now actually the best way to see it is the side view. It's called tripod headstand because your head and your hands are making a 3-point triangle. So if your hands are close to the sides of your head, it's going to get very wobbly and you won't be able to necessarily use your hands as you lift up. So you want to think hands as wide as your mat so that you can see them in your peripheral vision. And then you work the same actions. You hug your hands together. You pull your hands back towards your knees, and then perhaps you come up to the very top of your head. 100% of weight, 100% of weight, 75% of weight. And then options of how to get into here. Some of you might know this one. Knees onto the armpits. Squeeze your feet together. Stay here and breathe, or only if you want, maybe the knees lift up towards the sky. Yeah? 100% of weight in the right hand, 100 in the left, 75 in the crown of the head. And then to come on out, doop, boop, boop. Take a breath or two to rest in child's pose before you come up, because you get the stars, I get the stars. Your legs do not have to lift up off the floor. Both feet can stay down the whole time. You can explore what it's like to do kiss of one knee, kiss of the other, keep kissing, and then you come on down. But the beauty of what headstand offers is that in any inversion, really, it's a moment to feel yourself incredibly present in the moment that you are. Because when you're upside down and you start to think about something else, that's when things start to weeble. So the invitation, where in any variation that you take, is can you continue to call yourself back to your breath? Can you feel yourself be where you are, feel what your hands and feet are doing, and choose the choice that you want to be moving towards? If you saw that and you were like, no, please, Viparita Karani, the legs up the wall, is going to be that restorative inversion with your legs above your heart. We'll meet you there soon. You can also find other variations.
When we're doing the knees, I guess on the tricep, is that kind of like crow pose?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah. And then squeezing your feet together will really help. If you want to try it, I'll talk you through it. If you want me to come over to answer any questions, I'm also more than happy to do that. You can do it from crow, yeah. But take breaths when you find your way there. So if you'd like to come up into this version of Sirsasana, maybe a blanket to the floor if you'd like, or crown of your head we'll all meet in tabletop to start. So from table, bring your hands as wide as your mat. Tuck your toes under and reach your chest forward so the crown of your head comes down onto the floor, very top. Now, how much weight in the right hand? 100%. How much weight in the left? Can your head and your hands make a triangle? That's it. Now tuck all 10 toes under, lift your knees and hips up, and breathe here. Hug your palms together. Hug them together. And then only if you want, one knee kisses one armpit, you bend the knee, then maybe the other knee kisses the armpit, and you squeeze your feet together. And then maybe you keep letting one knee at a time kiss, or both knees come onto the armpits. And then you squeeze your feet towards each other, draw your knees towards each other as you lift your hips up, lift your feet up. Mm-hmm. And yes, the whole. And then when you want to come down, you bend your knees and lower your feet to the floor. Child's pose. Take breaths when you're up there. Take a few moments when you're up there. Any questions, thoughts, preferences? You said you liked this one version better. You like the other one? Uh-huh. Who said it last week? Did I just make that up completely? Okay. Hurts the elbows. Me too. Crow is harder. Versus straight, one leg straight. Yeah, you can do that too. Mm-hmm. Hey, it is sneakily more core. Okay, when you've taken a breath or when you've taken a rest, one more option I want to show you. So, what time is it? Okay, we have a chance for one more. So during the weeks of chakras, I've been mentioning what they all describe. So this chakra is all about how we access the divine, how you find enlightenment, how you find consciousness, how you find nirvana and a bliss. Like all of these words that have meaning, but sometimes also have no meaning if you put them all together at once. The demon side or the shadow side to this chakra is that of attachment, meaning the idea in yoga when it was started thousands of years ago was in order to achieve bliss and consciousness and nirvana, you had to become completely unattached to the world that you were in. You wanted to become unattached to the relationships that you had, the possessions that you had, so that you could sit and meditate and achieve consciousness and bliss. The philosophy that the studio teaches from says attachment isn't necessarily a demon. In fact, it's a boon, because who are we if not for our attachments? As those that live in the 21st century, of those that have relationships and houses and people to take care of, who are we if not who we are attached to? So in fact, the idea is we practice and think about this seventh chakra so that we become more connected, more attached, more grounded within the relationships that we have, so that we can experience consciousness and bliss through the mirror of others. And those are the thoughts that go in your head when you're in headstand, or not, or nothing. But I mention it because there's a lot of potency in the very top of your head, just like there's a lot of potency in the soles of your feet. And so they're all interconnected with each other. So I'll show you one more option. If you want to explore this last round in tripod headstand, because we won't do it again until next year during the chakra series. But this one, so to Kishan's point, when you bring your knees together, like here, it is a sneaky amount of core work, right? Because that's all the belly is doing. The other option is you lift a leg, like you did in Warrior 3, and then you lift the other leg as your feet come to the wall. I just need to triple check that I'm not going to flash anyone. Oh. The last option I want to show you, which we did for last week's class, if you're like, okay, tripod headstand feels good, I can be up there for a few breaths, is working on lifting both legs up simultaneously. So hands hug together, hands pull back to your knees, and then maybe you work this. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Da-da-da-da. Nope, just 3. And then you come on down. If you want sneaky upside down core work, that one's going to get you. But you do not have to do it. Lifting the legs up simultaneously requires your hands to be of use. It requires your breath to be moving, because if the breath gets stopped, the legs are going to feel very heavy. So you want to keep finding breath wherever you are. So one more chance to play. There's no obligation to do any of that. You can rest, you can observe, you get a lot of power through observation. You can be with your legs up the wall, but give yourself a moment to explore what it is that your heart desires. So either tripod headstand facing the wall, tuck your toes under, lift your knees and hips up. Take a few breaths once you find your way there. And now your head and your hands are making a triangle. Remember, instead of hands next to your head, walk them back to the middle of your mat. And then maybe one knee to the elbow, the other knee to the elbow. Maybe you draw the knees together as you lift the legs up. But can you breathe? Slow, steady breaths in and long, clear exhales out. Nice, Guy. That's it. Rest when you need to rest. Take breaks when you need to take breaks. Steady and pace yourself. Nice, Kale. Yes. Nice, Ava. Okay. Emily, you're on the right track. That's where we're going. So when you're done, there's no rush. Take your time, be upside down for however long you'd like. I'd love to do a few hip openers, some thigh stretches, some twists as counter poses before we make our way towards rest. So watch for the props around your mat, and we'll meet in downward facing dog just for a moment longer with your butt facing the wall, your torso to the middle of the room. So when you make your way to down dog, take a breath or two. Now you're close to the wall, so just watch for the wall behind you as you step your right foot to the outside of your right hand for that lizard lunge shape. Lower your back knee to the floor or a blanket for some extra padding. And as you come up onto your fingertips or blocks, lift up through the chest. We'll take a twist here. Keep your left hand down on the floor or on a block. Climb your right palm up onto your right thigh and start to turn your belly towards that right leg. Stay here or hug your back knee forward, bend your left knee and lift the left toes up. And your right hand might reach for the wall, it might reach for the foot, it might lasso a strap around the foot. But wherever you are, holding the foot or not, shrug the right shoulder up and back, slide the throat back to lean back away from that right leg. Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale. You might bend 1 more inch into that right thigh. And then inhale to unwind. Lower your hands back to the floor. Release the foot. You can step through table. You might step through down dog. But take a breath before we switch sides. Left foot to the outside of your left hand for that lizard lunge. Lower your back knee onto the floor or any padding that you'd like. With your right hand wide, left palm to your left thigh. From your belly, start to twist open to the left. Take a breath or two right here if you did so on side 1. Bend your right knee, lift your right toes up, and let the left hand reach out and around to hold on to the right toes. Can you shrug that top left shoulder up and back? The right shoulder up and back, and then slide the throat back to lean back. Take a big breath in, stay for the exhale, and on an inhale with care, release the hold of your leg. Plant your palms, come back to tabletop. Let's come to sit on our tush with your feet facing the wall and your head to the middle of the room. So come to be on your butt. Before we lie down, we'll take a moment in reverse table. So bend your knees, bring both feet onto the floor. You're facing the wall. Either your thumbs face towards your toes, or you might have your fingertips pointing towards your feet, up to you. But before you lift up, scooch your hips all the way towards your heels. Keep your butt down as you lift up through the chest. Stay here and take a breath, or push your feet down and forward to lift your hips up. Push your palms down and apart to lift the back of your chest. You might look at the wall, or as you slide the throat back without cricking the neck, you might look up to the sky. But push your feet down and forward to lift your hips higher. Push your palms down and apart to lift the back of your chest. Take 1 more breath in, and on your exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Come to lie on your back. Stretch your legs out long, reach your arms overhead. Take a big, long, lengthy stretch. Big breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, let all of that breath go. Give the right leg a hug in towards your belly or in towards your chest. Make some small circles with that right foot or the right ankle. And as you stretch your left leg long out in front of you towards the wall, for 1 more twist, let your left hand hold your right thigh. Watch for the neighbors around you. Scoot your hips to the right and let the right thigh move over to the left. You might have a block or two underneath the right leg. Perhaps that right shoulder softens down to the earth. But as you let the back of your head get heavy to the ground, take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Big breath in, big breath out. On your next inhalation, unwind, uncross the leg, draw the right knee back through center. Give the left leg a hug in towards your belly or in towards your chest. Make any circles with that left foot or ankle. Spread or point those toes. And now extend your right leg long. We twist to the other side. Let your right hand hold the left thigh. As you let that left leg go to the right, the other side. Can you let that left shoulder and the back of your head soften to the earth? Push your heel into my foot. Here. Big breath in. Big exhale out. And now on your next breath, inhale to unwind your legs. Draw your knees and feet back through center. Give both legs an embrace in towards your belly or in towards your chest. We've done some asymmetrical work from side to side. So feel what it's like to hug the legs in towards you. You might make some small circles or come towards your happy baby, catching the backs of your thighs or your calves or your ankles. But a slow, deep breath in wherever you are. And as you exhale, gently release the hold of your legs down to the earth. We'll make our way towards rest for a few moments next. So give yourself time here to add or remove any layers or props. We're closing at the wall. So if you'd like to bring the soles of your feet to touch the wall to give you some softening, some grounding into the earth, since we've been upside down for so long, please feel free to do so. Feel free to add or remove any layers or props. You might let your hair down or let your glasses set safely off to the side. But for this cooling pranayama, sitali pranayama, if you can make that curled shape with your tongue, let the lips part and let the inhale come in through the straw shape of your tongue itself. You close the lips and exhale through the nose. Continue at your pace, either through the curled tongue or bringing the top and bottom of your teeth together as you part your lips. Feel the cool air as it coats the tongue, the back of your throat, into your belly, and the warmth that you generate as you exhale that breath out. You can continue that breath for a few more rounds, or as you find the slow, rhythmic cadence of your breath. Let each breath soften you further down into the earth. Where each breath dissolves the practice that was. Each breath lets you arrive to where you are now. And each breath that comes after makes space for what has yet to come. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a sweeter breath out. Take another breath in, down and wide. And as you exhale, offer all of that breath out. Let that breath that you have begin to slowly awaken the body that you're in with any movements that just feel sweet to you. You might roll your wrists or ankles in one or the other direction. You might tip your head from one side to the other, heavy against the earth. Or just watching for those around you. Perhaps you reach your arms away from your legs or draw your knees in towards your heart. But when the time comes, we'll all meet as you reach the arms overhead, bend your knees and roll over onto your right hand side to coil into yourself. Take a breath or two here against the ground. And as you push down into the floor, come up to rise to a tall seat. If you'd like to sit with your back all the way up to the wall for added support, please feel free to do so. But with your eyes softly closed or softly open, turn towards your breath. Take a deep breath in and down, let it fill you up. And exhale to offer the breath up and out through the top of your head. Sirsasana chakra, the thousand-fold lotus, the way in which we begin to see a world greater than what we could have imagined. As we finish our time with each other with one more of those breaths, you can place your hands to anywhere that feels like center for you. Take a deep breath in to let it all go. You might bow your head to your hands or lift your hands towards your head in such a simple yet sweet gesture of self-reverence, bowing to yourself and to one another who practiced right alongside next to you. And to each and every one of you, I bow with all of my heart. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. I know it was hot. Thank you for being here. Drink lots of water. Take great care of yourselves and each other. Stay cool. AC, man, it's nice. It'll most likely be fixed by tomorrow. So many things happening. Next week is 4th of July. That came up quickly. I'll be teaching on Monday and Tuesday. I'm not sure what the Wednesday schedule is, but the announcement is just look online before you come to class. See what's re-Tetrised and what classes are which day. Oh, and Adriana and I are teaching a workshop this Friday at Studio 34. So if you guys find yourselves over the river, through the woods in West Philly, it's called Awakening to Self. We wanted to call it just fire, 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 sleep, 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 but I don't think that would have been accepted. But I will teach the first part of class, which will be a full spectrum warm-up, and then she'll teach restorative and yoga nidra, and we tuck you in for big rest to prepare for the seasonal change. So if you're free, and you find yourself in West at Studio 34, that's this Friday at 6:30. We'd love to see you. There's trees there. Thank you. Thank you. Take care of yourselves. Does anyone else have announcements? Anything? Meta Mats is in the house and in here. I'm just here. Yeah. Okay, bye. Oh, more vintage.
Oh, yes.
Kishan is here.
More vintage.
Yes.
Around the corner. Sorry.
It's okay.
Do you know when the next teacher training is?
Yes, the next teacher training starts end of September. So all the applications are online.
Okay.
It's just a few like questions to fill out. But if anyone's been practicing here, you can reach out to me or Adriana to chat about it.
Okay.
But it's all the dates are on the schedule.
Okay,
It's once a month, September to December.
Okay.
And that's just the immersion, and then training starts again in January. Yeah. You thinking about it?
Yeah, I feel like I always have a lot of questions, and I feel like I just want better understanding.
Yeah. I mean, always ask the questions.